Hey there, friends and family. This is Dan. I'm here at the Dan and Adam Are Afraid podcast. It is episode 42. It is also March 16, 2025. It's a beautiful Sunday. I have had a busy morning. I had to go do some errands. I woke up late. But thankfully, I had watched our movie for today yesterday because I own it on Blu-ray. So we're good. I'm caught up. We were supposed to have some guests today. Unfortunately, no guests. So it's just us. You're stuck here with us. I'm not stuck here with you. Oh, actually, honestly, I might be stuck here with you. I could be doing better things, but instead I'm recording this podcast for you. I'm joined here by my beautiful, trashy co-host, Adam.
Yes, Dan, thank you very much. And I'd like to welcome you all here to the free speech headquarters. We are free speech warriors on this podcast.
I guess so. I guess. I mean, if you start doing some hate speech, I'm okay with you getting, like, beat up.
Well, yeah. I disagree with you, sir, but I will beat you to an inch of your life to defend you to say it. I think that... Before we got on here, yeah, I saw some Joe Rogan crap talking about how comedians are, you know, the bastions of free speech, and... I was like, wait, but that's us. That's what we're about on this show, right?
I guess so. Sorry, I forgot we're hot and spicy on the podcast now. Now we talk about politics because we're smart. We know what's going on.
So you're not holding all the cards right now, Dan.
I kind of do. You don't have the cards for that, Dan. Did you even say thank you once? Hey, audience, did you even consider saying thank you once for me recording this for you? Stupid bitch.
You guys were out there last week stumping for the Red Scare podcast, and now you're coming to listen to us? I mean, come on.
You think you're safe on this podcast? You're like a left listener. You come on here, you're like, oh man, I can't wait to listen to Dan and Adam deconstruct Trash Humpers, one of my favorite transgressive pieces of cinema. And here I am sipping on some Starbucks, some liberal Zionism.
It tastes like white phosphorus.
That's a good one. Yeah, I had a gift card because I work in an office, and you know when they give you gift cards and shit, they're always like I always hope for Amazon. Like at least Amazon, I can kind of get something cool, and like you know it's Amazon. I don't like ordering from Amazon either, but it's better than Starbucks. I got a Starbucks gift card. I've just been sitting on it for like 3 months, and this morning I was like, I'm kind of hungry. I'm literally right next to a Starbucks. Let me use this thing. So I apologize, fellow left listeners. I'm breaking the embargo. What is it? What do you call this? Strike? Is there not embargo? What's the word?
Boycott. Girlcott.
Yeah, I'm not boycotting very well. To be honest, I've been at McDonald's a few times too. So
it's a they them cot. Yes, and you know, yeah, Amazon gift cards. Also, I like what about a Fry's gift card? You ever get one of those from your work, like a grocery store gift card?
No, that'd be fucking sick though. Yeah. That's actually usable.
Like I get that, and I can tell that I am now 38 because I'm just like, yeah. I could get myself like the brand name stuff this time.
Oh hell yeah!
When you're older, you'll understand the importance of fresh produce.
Oh my! So I was hoping our good friend would be on the show today, so I could discuss a topic. I was watching a YouTube video last night, or 2 nights ago maybe, and it was like from 2 years ago. Is this one YouTuber, like I can't think of his name right now. Maybe I can find it as I'm talking. But it was a YouTuber who did a challenge. Do you remember Morgan Spurlock?
Oh yeah.
So back in the day, we were all forced to watch in like probably school, or I don't know, you maybe were too old for that, but in school they made us watch this movie a lot. Super Size Me by Morgan Spurlock, where he goes and eats McDonald's for 30 days and he's like, and he throws up in his car and shit. So that's, and he's dead, by the way, R.I.P. Morgan Spurlock is dead. He was also a huge grifter and piece of shit, so I don't know if R.I.P. Maybe good he's dead.
Good riddance.
He can't hurt anyone else. So anyway, there's this guy today called Sam Reed. He has this show, and he's trying to like, he wants to be like a talk show host, right? He wants to be a network TV show host, and his YouTube channel is very much based around that kind of like fact. But he did a challenge 2 years ago, and the video is called I ate nothing but Taco Bell for 30 days to improve my health. Now, at first glance, folks, you would think, well, that's fast food. It's Taco Bell. That doesn't sound like you could really do it. But it is true that like in the past 5, 10 years, maybe a decade now, Taco Bell has slowly positioned itself as the healthy fast food option, which sounds strange, but they do a lot of like vegetarian stuff. In their website, if you go and order on the app or anything, they're very focused on nutrition. Like if you're just a dumb American who's like, oh, I'm fat, I'm going to order some Taco Bell like I am most of the time. You've probably never even looked at the nutrition stuff on the app or whatever when you're ordering. And, that said, you'd have to be ordering through the app to get these things or going onto the website.
Is this are we doing an ad read?
No.
Oh, okay.
But what struck me is, he did this challenge. He goes 30 days eating Taco Bell. He does it every day. So he does breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Can you imagine Taco Bell breakfast every day? I'd want to put a fucking gun in my mouth by day 7, probably. But as expected, he went to the doctor. He scheduled all these appointments so that way he could get these regular blood tests, cholesterol checks, etc. And surprisingly, his cholesterol and blood pressure went way up really quickly.
Oh, okay.
And he was like, oh man, what am I doing wrong? And it comes down to like sodium. Now, I don't know how much you think about sodium. I don't at all. And I just started learning about it after this video because I was like, oh yeah, I guess there's a lot of salt in this stuff. And do you know what sodium leads to? It leads to stroke, blood pressure, heart attack. It's like that doom line. But the point is, he has to change the way he's eating there. So he has to eat a lot more tacos because the tacos have the least amount of like sodium and the most amount of like, random veggies in it. And at the end of the experiment, he was able to bring his high cholesterol, blood pressure down to like levels that are, let's say, normal or a little bit better than they were before. But without like having planning and like understanding what you're putting into your body and how much sodium you're putting into your body, you can't really achieve that in my mind. And my thought was just like, when you go and order these food, like you get a box from Taco Bell and it's going to come with like 3 items. If you eat 3 of those items, you're already over your daily intake for sodium. Now imagine you do that for years. And it just really shocked me and scared me because I was like, damn, I'd never think about this stuff. And I have definitely eaten a lot of like, 3 burritos. I ate like four burritos from there this week, probably in one sitting.
Ooh, yeah. We talked
like
about
bean
that
burritos,
before.
but
yeah. I definitely don't just get one item from Taco Bell. That's insane. But now I'm hearing this for the first time. So much sodium. Yeah, maybe a big yikes on that one.
It's a goddamn sodium bomb. I'm Paul Giamatti from Love and Mercy now, basically. I just look at everything. I'm like, it's a goddamn sodium bomb.
We need that guy. We need Dr. Landry here for our podcast.
Honestly, I do need a Dr. Landy kind of person in my life. Can you imagine how high performing I would be if I was just enslaved by an insane pill popping 80s, 90s business guy?
Record the damn podcast, Dan. That's what we need. We need that yelling into
I'm like sitting there drugged out trying to eat a hamburger. I'm so hungry.
Just like, you better watch that Trash Humpers, god dang it.
That's what we need. Anyway, point is, folks, pay fucking attention to how much sodium you're eating because they're not telling you, and like they're trying to kill us, dude.
Mm-hmm. They feed us the poison.
They want us to have a heart attack. They want us to use the healthcare system, the health insurance industry.
Yeah. Yeah, we're getting a little Marianne Williamson on here, but that's fine because a lot of the maladies we experience, I saw a lot of the maladies we're experiences they're just market forces. It's like that's what the market offers. Of course, everyone's obese, and we're having heart attacks left and right because it's like, try the new salted Bel Grande taco with extra salt, and it's like, oh yeah, I want that.
I was just like, why can't I ever make my burritos and tacos at home taste as good as they do at Taco Bell? Well, I'm not coating my shit in salt rocks.
Yeah.
So it was just eye-opening, folks.
I'm telling you, man, get on that Whole Foods diet. This is Adam coming out here. Hey, everybody, it's Adam from Dan and Adam. I'm saying, get on that Whole Foods. Drop the
zero. Get with the hero.
Yeah, get with the
just the cabbage.
Be a fucking be a hero. I just had some tasty. I made some crunchy potatoes in my air fryer this morning. I hope that
potatoes are good.
I hope that makes up for the pizza I had Friday night and the Taco Bell I had Saturday morning. Hopefully it makes up for it.
Yeah, that's where I'm at too, buddy. All right, I got one more topic to bring up before we get into our main feature, folks. It's a topic about music and how people are consuming music and viewing music these days. It's just an interesting, here's the tweet. It was March 13, 2025. This was written by Dro Vinyl News at 99vinyl_ on Twitter. Pretty good account if you're a vinyl collector, because he'll just post about records that are coming out that you might not know about, and like discounts and stuff. Good guy to follow. Shout out. But he posted, all these features that have been announced for Cardi album are cool, but man, I really wish they would have been hidden. Imagine those features, but all the surprises first listen. We got robbed of that. First comment says, for real, imagine hearing Kendrick out of nowhere. Crying emoji, crying emoji, crying emoji, crying emoji, crying emoji. Joe responded, exclamation mark, exclamation mark, exclamation mark, exclamation mark, exclamation mark. What do you think about that, Adam?
Damn.
What do you think about features on an album being hidden and not known initially? I've seen this because on Spotify, if like a rap album comes out, they will literally not put the features on the credits until like 48 hours after release, maybe longer.
Well,
and I've always thought it's kind of odd, but I want to hear your take.
Well, yeah, like you said, they're all, we get this advanced marketing campaign for a lot of, what's going to be on an album. And I mean, it goes back to iTunes, really, where you can just go and get it. You just go in there and get your one song, and it's going to have the details laid out for you. I'm old. I'm like the oldest man that's ever graced this podcast, except for I think maybe one guest. And I think a lot of people my age, your age, we remember the time of going and buying an album. And maybe you didn't want to sit there and just read the liner notes. So you were just listening to it. And we definitely miss like deep cuts. There's no such thing as a deep cut anymore because it's all just it's all just out there, very clickable. And yeah, I think you're right. I think we missed something from that.
So you think it's a good thing that they would hide album features upon release, so it's a surprise when you're listening to a new Playboi Carti album? You want to be surprised when Kendrick comes on the track and is like, yo, I'm Kendrick. Drake's still a pedophile.
I recall a time, this is a true story. When I was like 22, there was an album that came out, a post-hardcore band I was really into, and I listened to a lot of it, but I didn't listen to all of it. And then I got to the last track maybe like 3 months after I bought the CD because I was like, oh, I really love these tracks all early on. Well, then I get to the last one, and one of my favorite artists from another band, he just like comes in at the end of the song, and I was like, what the fuck? I really got excited. I'm like sitting there, I pull the album out or like the artwork out. I'm like reading. I'm like, oh my God, it is him. And if I can push back a little bit just from the perspective of like, I don't know, a record label, they might say, yeah, that's fun, but if we let you know who's all in it, that drives up sales. And I think that's where we see that coming from is like, oh, well, you make more money if you tell everyone Kendrick's on your album. To give the cynical viewpoint.
I think this is interesting because we're coming from two different perspectives on it. Because when I first heard this, I was like, that's weird. Why wouldn't I want to know that someone's on a track? If anything, I view this as like not because you're coming at it from like, this is what us old millennials did. We were excited about this kind of thing. If some random feature comes on, if I'm listening to Say Anything's album, Haley Williams comes on the track. Whoa. But when I read this tweet, I was like, man, these fucking Gen Z kids, man, I don't know. Maybe that's me just shaking my stick because I'm like, I want to know who's on the album. I don't want to have to wait 72 hours to figure that out. So interesting. I mean, I like that because I think I'm probably just old. Yeah. I'm the old one in this scenario.
I mean, I think you're in good company though. Like it does seem to be the way. Maybe that just seems to be the way we asked for this. It's kind of like Fahrenheit 451. It's like, oh, they did this. No, we asked for this. Like we want, people wanted all the information up front. And so I get it. I'm just like an old guy at Tower Records, just like thumbing through all the different fucking CDs. Like, oh, what did I got here? What did I got here? And that's not a viable business model. You know what I mean?
When I go to put the show up on the podcatchers, folks, they ask for tags. What I do for tags is I scroll through the Wikipedia and I just pull the genre, like the little genre description, like black, comedy, thriller. And then I'll put like no, I don't even put the director's name because I know I'm putting that in the description. So I'll grab like all the stars of the movie, maybe production names, something like that. But I put that all in there so you can find it, folks. If you're Google searching some random words, maybe my podcast will come up.
Whoa.
Anyway, something to think about, folks. Not really. I was just curious. I'm old, guys. I realize this. I don't believe in magic, I guess. I'm anti-magic on this part, I guess. It's not magical.
Dan,
I gotta figure it all out.
Dan, does magic exist in the world?
If you let the sadness overtake you, you'll sink into the swamp. And with that, we watched a movie this week. We watched Harmony Korine's 2009 Trash Humpers.
Just any old car.
See, what people don't understand is that we choose to live like free people.
Three little devils jumped over the wall. La 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 dee da da. Three little devils jumped over the wall, lopped off his head, and murdered it all. And lopped it by doodle da day.
Harmony Korine's 2009 Trash Humpers is a found footage horror movie. It's a experimental black comedy horror drama. It was shot on worn out VHS home video. I read that it was shot on recycled home video. My understanding of that is they took a movie and then they broke the copy protection on it and then recorded over it. The film features a loser gang cult freak collective engaging in bizarre and destructive behavior on the streets of Nashville, Tennessee. Now, Adam, 6 months ago, in like September or October or whatever, I bought the Blu-ray. Let me go grab it right now because I don't have it in my hand. Bought the Blu-ray. It is an Umbrella Blu-ray from 2024. So it's fairly new. The description on the back reads, "A gang of elderly people spend their time roaming back alleys, vandalizing, causing trouble, frequently tormenting those they come in contact with, and humping trash. What follows is a chaotic, nihilistic, and perhaps nightmarish journey into the dark underside of small-town America, all shot through a VHS aesthetic that lends the film a found footage quality." Adam, had you ever heard of Trash Humpers prior to us picking it this week?
No, I think maybe you mentioned it a couple times, but no, I never even seen a trailer for this movie.
I have been aware of it for a long time. If you hear about Harmony Korine, you hear about generally 3 movies. And this is maybe around Spring Breakers, like when I was looking up who Harmony Korine was or whatever. At that time, they were like, so Harmony Korine did Kids, he wrote Kids, he directed Gummo, and he directed Trash Humpers. So this is one of his big ones, and it's kind of lumped in with Gummo a lot of times. Can you see why it would be lumped in with Gummo?
Yeah, that makes sense to me because like Gummo is all about it's about this trashed out city from like a storm or some shit. So I could see that.
I think they're in Nashville, Tennessee there too, right? I don't know.
Who even can tell?
But that's where Harmony Korine is from Nashville, Tennessee. So that's why he returns there, and a lot of his movies are kind of like focused in that like downtrodden, quote unquote white trash kind of thing aesthetic. And yeah, Gummo was shot in Nashville, Tennessee. Confirming. Now, this movie kind of returns to form because, as we discussed last time, we watched Mr. Lonely. Mr. Lonely was this kind of like, it was a well-shot movie, you know what I mean? It was traditional for the most part. It starred a lot of big actors. It was like a movie, and it did not do well. And I think, in that podcast we discussed how it was interesting. He had the audience reaction like built into the film. Do you remember that?
Yeah, they're at the end.
Well, they have the show they put on, and then like 3 people show up and they're all like ugly and they hate it, and they're like, that's show business. And this movie very much is the reaction to the audience reaction to Mr. Lonely, which he's like, well, if you don't want my sincere, authentic self, then you can have farce. You can have this, Trash Humpers. And after watching this movie, and I'll just mention up front, I'm not really going to bring it up or talk about it too much right now. But folks, the baby invasion has begun. Adam sent me a link this week, and he was like, it's just a bunch of clips from X or Twitter. Baby invasion is out there. At least the base layer of baby invasion, most of it is out there. I downloaded it and I watched it. I've been to the Holy Land, folks. I've seen it. I've been there, and we'll get to it. I'm a little sad that it has seemingly leaked before we've reached the timeline on this podcast, and also that means, folks, we're careening out from here. It's imminent.
Oh.
Every pick we do from here is careen until we get to baby invasion.
We're living in harmony.
I've been there. One thing I'll say about Trash Humpers is I was watching one of the clips, or Baby Invasion Trash Humpers. I was watching one of the clips of an interview during the Trash Humpers era, like 2010, and he gets asked, this is in the future. This is an interview at Venice Film Festival last year when he was doing Baby Invasion. Someone asked about Trash Humpers and was like, hey, this movie kind of reminded me of Trash Humpers. And he's like, no, I just keep moving forward. I don't even watch my own films. But I would say that this Trash Humpers movie, I watched these back to back because I watched the quote unquote leak of Baby Invasion, and then I watched Trash Humpers, and I was like, wow, these movies are kind of similar. Kind of. We will get into it in the future, folks, but I'm currently building my own cut of Baby Invasion. They're doing a weird guerrilla marketing campaign where they had a bunch of affiliates on X.com, Twitter, upload like 1-minute clips of the movie. So far, the initial fan cut that was put together was 70 minutes, roughly, out of 80 minutes. And that's just the base layer. As Harmony Korine said at the Venice Film Festival, the movie is not only going to be the base layer, so you're going to have the 80-minute movie initially. and then you're going to have movies within the movie. So you're going to have like QR codes that you can search, and then you're going to be able to get to other movies within the movie. And he's claiming the movie in total is going to be like 80 hours long. So I've not seen it all, and there's a lot more that's going to come out. Just saying, man, the baby invasion has landed. That said, Trash Humpers. Adam, I just want your initial impressions of this movie.
Oh boy. No, I'm just kidding. I guess, if I gave like an initial, I would be like, man, this seems like this guy is angry with his audience, or he hates certain parts of the audience. Yeah.
Did you watch any of the interviews I posted?
Yeah. I mostly watched mostly the ones I paid most attention to were his Letterman, and then like I read the what was it, the Esquire? I'm more of a reader.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Like I've never really dug into Korine interviews or like I guess like press. He's a very strange guy. And I can't tell if it's because he's just like strange or if he's like openly like Andy Kaufman, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, it's hard to, I think it would be difficult to decide fully which is which because especially on his first Letterman appearance when he was like 19 or something, I was like, man, this guy is just fucking with David Letterman.
If you watched all those, dude, it's insanity. Letterman is just like openly just hating on this kid, and then he just hates him back.
Yeah.
It's like, this is insanity, dude. So I don't know if I'll include this in the podcast, but because it's kind of like gossip. But did you get to the part with James Franco?
Yeah. Oh, are we talking Meryl Streep?
Meryl Streep. So the rumor had been for a long time that because he came back for Julian Donkey Boy in 1999. This is before he went on his big drug binge, right? And did Mr. Lonely years later. But he had Julian Donkey Boy, and he was probably on some drugs. Letterman caught him going through Meryl Streep's bag. But the initial rumor had always been that he pushed Meryl Streep backstage. And I guess that's what Harmony Korine had told James Franco. And it turns out Letterman was like, swear to God, he was going through Meryl Streep's bag in her dressing room while she was not there. And he told him to like pack it all up and get out. And I just thought that was so crazy. That's so scandalous.
Hey, pack it up, buddy. Yeah, that is very.
Can you pick
scandalous.
a worse like star to like steal out of their like Meryl Streep? That's crazy. Harmony Korine is a real one. He's a very interesting guy. I respect him a lot after watching these interviews and stuff. I'm just like, man, I guess maybe that's how you should do it. But I like it during that one interview I posted. He was like, they asked him like, what makes you hard? What makes you horny, baby? He's like, I don't like that one. Are there many more? Many more questions like this? He just seems like a really genuine guy. And one more thing about Baby Invasion. I was watching the interview at Cannes or Venice Film Festival. I keep getting those festivals mixed up. He had a guy with like an edgelord face mask over his face. And he was like a special guest. Do you know who it was?
No.
Gaspar Noé.
Oh, hell yeah.
Gaspar Noé did some work on Baby Invasion, I guess. I just think it's funny. Our worlds are colliding. Because we're covering like a very specific niche of people, like the stuff that's coming out new, like literally involves like two of the people I love. Anyway, I'm loving Harmony Korine. I'm loving Baby Invasion. I'm loving Trash Humpers. It's a weird one. It's a very weird movie. It's not for everyone. You know, we can say that up front. Trash Humpers is definitely a Harmony Korine movie. I mean, maybe all of his are like this. I'd say Mr. Lonely is a little bit more, normal. But this is not for everyone. I don't like to say that because it's my real truth on that kind of statement is I wish it was for everyone. You know what I mean?
Mm, yeah.
I wish everyone was on our level and could, analyze and approach art in a way that's like genuine and curious. But I feel like a lot of people would watch Trash Humpers and they'd say, what the fuck is this? I'm walking out.
Yeah, which goes back to one of the videos you shared with me, and like this one of the story where he explains everything in the trailer. The movie's called Trash Humpers, so he's like, if you walk out, that's on you, because like I already told you what this movie is. And yeah, I think I agree with that. You don't have to love every. That's one of the things, right? You don't have to love every movie you watch, every piece of art you imbibe. Part of it is like watch something that you might hate, but think about it. Even if you hate it, you could still critique it. But in order to do that, you have to engage a bit with the medium, as they say.
That's the thing. A lot of people are unwilling to engage. And one interesting thing I'd say about this point in Harmony Korine's filmography, and it really does connect to Aggro Drift and Baby Invasion, is I don't think this is a movie.
Okay.
I don't think Harmony Korine is concerned about being a filmmaker. And I don't think people can even understand that on a base level if you're just an average person. Because he's not just a filmmaker. He could be a sculptor. He wrote a book called Crack Up at the Race Riots that he was featured on, went on David Letterman for. I would love to get that book, by the way. That is on my radar now. He's not just one thing. And when he's making quote-unquote movies for the cinema, it's not always going to be a movie. And from this point on, to be honest, I haven't seen Beach Bum, but Spring Breakers isn't like a traditional movie. I don't think he's a filmmaker. I think he transcends that bumper. I think he's a creative. I think he's, and it's more and more apparent, especially in the era we're in now, once we get to the later films. I just don't think he's a filmmaker. And I think to judge Trash Humpers on a movie level and be like, oh, it doesn't work as a movie, it's boring or whatever, it doesn't work because it's just... he says it over and over again now in interviews, is he's concerned about making experiences. It's not like a movie that follows a traditional plot that has traditional elements. It's just not a movie, and you can't really judge it as a movie. I think it's unfair to do so.
Yeah, I think you make a good point on that, because yeah, that's actually a really good point, because there's a lot of movies you've showed me over the years that almost were made to be, you put it on while you're doing something. And I don't mean just like while you're doing, I don't mean necessarily while you're cutting carrots or, vacuuming. I mean like maybe you're painting, maybe you're playing, maybe you're making music. I could see this being like something that you just put on a loop while you're doing some sort of creative venture, because yeah, like there's such a what is it? Brechtian, the whole idea of alienating the audience. And there's not a lot you could apply from like traditional filmmaking to a movie like this. It almost like speaks forward to how Harmony is he's doing DJ sets of Baby Invasion at fucking nightclubs. And it's like, okay, what the fuck? You guys think this guy's going to make the Avengers Endgame?
I love his comments around, we'll get to it when we could cover Beach Bum, but he's like, I'd love to make all these like sequels to huge movies. And I'm just like, I wish that had happened.
Oh, dude, that'd be sick. Avengers Trash Humpers. And it's just the Hulk humping fucking trash for an hour and 18 minutes.
Plot sells, I promise we'll get to the plot. I think the technical talking about the film and the filmmaker is more important than talking about the film on this one, to be honest. So I'm going to read some IMDb trivia. I watched a lot of the extras on the Blu-ray, but surprisingly not many, and they all came from YouTube. At one point, Harmony Korine had considered leaving the film on unmarked VHS tapes, left in random locations, as a mystery for unsuspecting public to discover. Why does this remind me of Baby Invasion? Korine also considered distributing the film by mailing it to police stations, but this idea was abandoned when such a release strategy would mean that the film would not retain copyright.
Yeah.
It's like, I can't get paid? Shit.
But now
the film was shot in...
Oh, sorry.
Oh, go ahead. You go ahead.
Well, I don't want to jump on your toes because you said, why does this make you think of Baby Invasion?
Yeah, why? Well, it just reminds me of that because, yeah, they gave it to random X users and were like, hey, post this up. And he basically released the movie in 1 minute clips.
And I think that's so, I don't know. I think that's interesting because it's like, it's the same idea as leaving a VHS tape like up the ass of the Jonas Brothers. I think he said,
yeah, up in their guts.
Yeah,
he loves that line.
But you can do that on the internet, and because of how everything is tracked digitally speaking, copyright will be retained no matter how many places you put it in. And I think that's I think that's fun.
He was able to take it down because the fan cut went up and I downloaded it, but it got taken down within hours by Unvasion LLC.
Yeah, you'll find out they were the ones who put it up there in the first place. Like,
honestly, yeah, I wonder. But it was out of order. The movie was out of order. But again, he's playing DJ sets. We'll get to it. We'll get to it, folks. This film was shot and edited entirely on VHS. That's very apparent, and obviously I really appreciate that because it's he cut this thing on like a tape deck, and he left in all like the stuff, like forward, rewind, everything.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's super cool. I wish I had been able to watch this twice. I tried. I fell asleep this morning, and I watched it. I watched it yesterday, but I just fell asleep like several times this morning. I wanted to get up earlier.
Oh yes, and the VHS aesthetic. Yeah, it's definitely it's ugly on purpose. That's what I kept thinking of, and it almost feels uncomfortable to watch. For sure, I think.
One point that was made, I don't remember. It was one of the interviews. Something was a point was maybe it was a comment I was reading somewhere, but they were pointing out that like people will watch Paranormal Activity, right, where nothing happens for 95% of the movie, if not more, where you're staring at static cameras, but that blows up and everyone loves it. Trash Humpers is a similar experience, but people would walk out of this movie.
And so I kind of want to ask you about that. Something like a lot of experimental films have makes me think of Climax. We mentioned Gaspar Noé earlier. Go watch the episode, watch the movie, listen to the episode. It's good. And emotional anchors, what in your film. And I thought that, I don't know, I was curious what you thought about that in relation to Trash Humpers. Did you feel... did you have an anchor to this movie? Because I didn't.
I think the movie is like Baby Invasion, and it wants to put you in the shoes and the perspective of the sociopaths. And you can call them sociopaths. I don't think they're viewed negatively by the film's eye.
Oh yeah, it's just raw for sure.
So like as far as like having an emotion, I mean, at the end you get some emotion because you're like, oh shit. But most of the movie is literally, again, experiential. It's not like a movie. So really you're watching through the eyes of, so we haven't mentioned yet, Herv, who's the main character, one of the main characters in this trash humping group, is filming the whole thing on his tape camcorder, played by Harmony Korine.
Nice.
I thought that was super fun. His wife, Rachel Korine, who is Little Red Riding Hood and Mr. Lonely, is the woman in this movie. And then he's got a bunch of his other friends, Travis Nicholson, Brian Coatsor. But no, there's not really much emotional anchor in this movie. It's just like, hey, watch these fucking sickos break shit. And at first in the movie, you're like, they're breaking the TV in the parking lot. And I'm just like, yeah, I get it. And for a minute, I'm Herv. I'm like, get it. Don't fake it. Make it. Don't fake it. So I would say the emotional anchor is me just following these characters. Like, what are they going to do? What are these wacky characters going to do? What are they going to get up to? And then people start dying.
Yeah, that was where the film picked up for me. I was like, oh, okay, this is something I can relate to. This is something I'll watch.
There's no Tito. I mean, there is a Tito, kind of, but there's no Tito screaming and crying, and there's no, like main characters. There's no people you're worried about necessarily, right? You're never worried about anybody, really.
For sure.
The filming was near constant, lasted only a couple of weeks. Korine claimed that once everyone was in costume, they did not take off costumes until filming was done. Korine claimed, we'd walk around and sleep under bridges or behind strip malls somewhere. We'd get these big tractor tires and make a nest to sleep in. I just don't believe anything he says. But yeah. So I guess I'll mention, I watched the extras and I'm aware of like the production. This wasn't supposed to be a movie, so he, I guess he says it was initially just like, oh, I want to, take some photos of people in weird makeup. Do you remember, is it the Bad Grandpa sketches in Jackass?
Oh, nice, yeah.
So that's like an easy like connection and just be like, oh, he's doing like a low rent, Bad Grandpa. How do you feel about that?
You know what? I mean, I could see Johnny Knoxville being in this movie. And maybe, maybe we needed just like one prank. Maybe like they do the scene with the dead body in public somewhere.
That would have been insane. I love the little kid at the beginning. Like, I told you I'd kill it.
I think my favorite character in
beating
this
up the
movie,
doll.
yeah, that kid. But that was definitely like my favorite character. Watching him,
little Rizzler,
miss his
Rizzler cameo.
Yeah. Damn, yeah, you could remake this today. Like Harmony needs to make a sequel to this and have the Rizzler play.
Oh my god, do Rizzler and Harmony Korine go together perfectly? So it was shot really quickly. It was over like 3 weeks or something, really quickly, and then it went to the Toronto Film Festival. When Harmony Korine was asked about the violent characters in the film, he said, "It's like an ode to vandalism. There can be a creative beauty in their mayhem and destruction. You could say these characters are poets or mystics of mayhem and murder, bubbling to the surface. They do horrible things, but I never viewed them as sad characters. They're comedic, with a vaudevillian horror element to what they do. They dance as they smash things and set fire on them. They're having a great time." Let's see. What's the word of the day, Adam? I would say the word of the day is nihilism. Are you a very nihilistic person?
No, Dan. I'm glad we're bringing this up. I'm very much an absurdist, which is kind of a form. It's a branch from nihilism where you acknowledge that there's no fucking meaning to the world, but I'm gonna make one up until that falls apart, and then I'll make up another one. I guess that's where I would place myself.
I would say I'm a nihilist. Maybe that's why Harmony Korine's work speaks to me in the way it does. I would like to be an optimist and think that things are going to work themselves out and that life... I just feel like we bump heads on this quite a bit, right? Me and you?
Yeah. This is a long... Dan and Adam Are Afraid fans will know we have often gotten into fist fights over this.
Yeah, true. Outside the Fry's parking lot. Yeah.
We're throwing TVs around, and I'm like, oh, like that had a lot of meaning to it. And you're like, there's no meaning to it, but we're still throwing TVs around. Like,
yeah, I broke the fluorescent light over your head.
Very relatable that shit, man. Throwing fluorescent lights around. I'd say it's so much.
That's one of his comments.
Yeah.
Yeah. He said he used to do that as a kid. He just go and throw like bulbs at the ground, like throw them up in the air. Yeah, that's fun. I wonder how bad that is for the environment.
Not great. It reminds me of 40-Year-Old Virgin. They're doing that in the movie. If you remember, they're just like they're literally doing the same thing. They're just throwing fluorescent light bulbs around, and now I'm like, what was that inspired by Trash Humpers? No, I think it came out before, but
everything was inspired by Trash Humpers. I think that's about as much as I have on background. Let's talk about the film. The movie opens, as expected, with the group of heavily make-upped elderly vandals humping trash cans. And we're talking about, like the trashes you wheel out to your curb if you're in the suburbs or whatever. They're humping them. They're literally just pushing right into them real hard. Giving it those long strokes.
Ew, Dan.
That's like the whole movie, folks, is they love doing that. They love jerking off branches. At one point, one of them starts filleting like a twig. I was like, what is he doing? Oh, he's filleting the twig. You have just bizarre, just scenes. There's not much like. That's why I want to go. I wish I had gone back and watched it a second time before this recording, is because I want to kind of understand the structure a little bit better, because it really does feel very unstructured. He said he shot it chronologically, so as you see the movie in order, he shot it in that order, which makes sense. I mean, you're shooting on a cheap ass VHS camera, tape camera. It's probably the best way to work.
Mm-hmm.
Up front, they mess with that boy that we were talking about, little Rizzler. I just want to again say I love that scene. I love how Harmony Korine is able to incorporate kids, make it feel really unsafe.
Yeah, that's for sure.
I was like, this kid's gonna hit his head. He's gonna literally impale himself in the eye with this hammer that he's swinging. I was just thinking about that. Like, how does he just keeps swinging it up next to his head, and I was like, he's gonna hit his head. That's not possible, is it? Right? Does the body prevent that?
I would hope so.
What does the body do, Adam?
I mean, I whacked myself in the back once with an axe that I was swinging over my head. So, I mean, go figure. Go make up that. Decide for yourself.
They're like, hey, they give him an apple, and they're like, here, this is what you do. You put the razor inside the apple, push it in real deep, so no one can see it. And then you go up to someone, you say, hey, would you like an apple? And by the time it gets them, it's too late. And then, the camera pans to like seemingly some people in the background. And I was just like, oh my God. Did you pick up on all this stuff? Like it's not just like in the background, right? Like he's implying like, oh, you're going to give, what if he gives one of those people the apple and we see it?
Yeah, I was like, I was waiting for that. Obviously, me being a plot cell of sorts.
They're encouraging this boy to do violence and to be bad like they are. I love the scene where you have the two random guys who show up with like the conjoined like head scarf thing, and then they make pancakes. It's like make it, don't fake it, make it, don't fake it. And they give him the pancakes and like, I ain't gonna eat that shit. That shit is poison. That's poison. And they make them sit down. He's like, you go get the soap. And they make them pour dish soap on the pancakes like syrup and eat them. I love that. I was enjoying myself. I was like, this is great.
I feel like the dynamic here a bit is I'm Mike Stalaska and you're Jay from Red Letter Media, because there's a lot of times where Jay would be
this
like,
has always
so
been
beautiful.
The case, folks.
And all I could say is, that was definitely a scene in the movie.
And then we get their puppet show about Chang and Aang. And, Chang just dies. And Aang's like, I'll just die too. And they're like, that was depressing. Shit, we want a happy story. That was great as well. I love the little story. I guess they celebrate the birthday of their oldest member, Buddy, who spends much of the celebration on the toilet suffering constipation. Oh, I remember that because they bring the that's the point of the poster on Wikipedia. They bring him the cake on the toilet. He's like, you'll get it out, buddy. It'll come out.
Yeah.
And I was like, I've been there, buddy.
Yeah, man, that was the high point, I think, of this film. Everyone's gonna be a Leonardo DiCaprio meme. Like, I get that.
All their activities involve elements of peer pressure or ritualistic antics. Baby dolls are a recurring motif, which the Trash Humpers destroy by dragging behind their bicycles or asphyxiating them with plastic bags. I want to make a point here. So there's the scene where they're dragging the baby doll behind them on the bikes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Did that remind you of any movie we watched by Harmony Korine recently?
Damn, I'm on the spot. I mean, maybe I feel like Gummo, but like we've already mentioned how a lot of this movie it's going to remind you of Gummo, but I feel free to correct me.
Fuck the cops!
Well, Adam, I was actually referring to Mr. Lonely. So in Mr. Lonely, you have the couple of the scenes. In the very beginning, the movie opens with the lonely. And you have him on the little tiny motorcycle, and you have the monkey flying behind him, the monkey with wings. And then you also have the plane at the end flying behind him on something. And why I'm pointing this out is it's a good contrast between Mr. Lonely, how Harmony Korine felt pre-Mr. Lonely and post-Mr. Lonely. Good example here, and I've been waiting to bring this up the whole podcast. If we were to describe Mr. Lonely just by using lines from the movie, Mr. Lonely, the quote is, "You don't have to die." For Trash Humpers, that has now shifted by a monologue by someone in the movie when he says, "I reserve the right to die."
Damn, yeah, that's a good point.
So, I don't know, I just think, I'll say it here, I've probably already inferred it multiple times, but I think this point onwards, we have a different perspective from Harmony Korine. And honestly, if you watch his interviews now, he literally is asked like, "Hey, why are you making movies like this now?" And he's like, "Well, I realize nothing is real." Literally. Like, he's like, "Hey, we found some glitches in the Matrix." He's doing all this coding now, and he's like, "Nothing's real." I just think he's a really interesting cat. And when you watch his interviews, I do think it's very possible he's not a troll, and he just does view the world very differently from me or you. And yeah, this movie's very depressing, in a way. And all of his movies have a very icy cold distance and detachment, cool detachment and irony and nihilism. Nihilism is the knife that cuts through all of it. And that's the point I'd make is, obviously, Mr. Lonely was very hopeful, genuine, sentimental even. I don't think you're going to get that from any of the Harmony Korine movies that we will get from here. Now, people start dying, Adam. When did you did you think they were just going to start offing motherfuckers?
No, in fact, I was like, I hate to say it, pleasantly surprised because you got the motherfucker on the ground and like that killed him or whatever they're saying. And that was that was like the guy
killed him.
Wasn't that the guy that was like out singing or something on the bridge with him?
Yeah, it was the old guy who is he does a really long monologue. I wish I had written it down somewhere, but he does a monologue that is essentially the treatise on this movie, right? He's like, "Hey, I guess this is an amazing point to bring it up now. I don't know did you catch that entire monologue? Do you know what I'm referring to?
I know what you're referring to, but explain it for the audience."
So the monologue essentially amounts to, "Hey, you shit-eating pigs deserve this. This is your slop. You asked for this. You asked for the Trash Humpers. You love this."
Yeah. And I think that's like so, like it really, like if you like me, I think so far my favorite Harmony movie is Mr. Lonely. I was like, damn, this movie I'm Mr. Lonely, and with like the audience's rejection of that movie, my cards on the table, audience, like a lot of this is now coming to me. I was alienated watching this movie a little bit, and so talking about it, especially in relation to his oeuvre, that monologue right there, I'm like, fuck yeah! Now everyone needs to watch this movie.
I just think that's like super important. I think that's the entire like you don't put that in the movie unless he's directly talking to the audience basically, and that gives you what the movie is about. Herv, I love him. He is wearing a wig and he is wearing a Confederate flag shirt. When I was watching the extras, they brought up that they like to shorten Trash Humpers. They call it Trumpers.
Oh.
They shorten it to Trumpers. Do you think there is an aspect or a comment he's making about racist Americans in this? Maybe bigoted Americans? People who say gay slurs in their comedy routines that they kill later?
Damn, that's interesting. I hadn't thought about that. That's a good point. I'm trying to think.
I think there's some political undertones here. Is what I think Harmony Korine is very much I wouldn't say he's a lib. I wouldn't say he's conservative. I wouldn't necessarily say he's left, but he's one to call out fascists and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So I think there's some. He grew up in Nashville, Tennessee, and I would just say, like, if you're in Nashville, Tennessee, there's probably a lot of racism there. There's probably a lot of people like that.
Hell, you grew up in America. America, yeah, you're gonna get that.
I don't think people talk enough about how transgressive and politically charged his movies seem to be. His newest movie is about robbing rich people. So yeah, they have a group philosophy. Herb at one point, kind of like in Gummo, when they're in the car filming, and the guy's like, "You gotta respect someone." You have a similar kind of like monologue scene given by Herb. He just expands on the philosophy, being a free American. Mama, the only female trash humper, asks God for guidance. And what does she decide to do? Well, they break into a house in the middle of the night and they kidnap a baby from a home. I had to rewind this scene because I was like, is this what's happening? Mm-hmm. I was like, oh, they're breaking into this house and they steal a baby. What did you think was going to happen? Because we're at this point in the movie, we have about 10 minutes left. What did you think was going to happen at this point?
Oh, I was ready for anything at this point. I was like, oh no, that's a real baby. What happened to all the other stand-ins for babies in this movie? Oh shit. I legitimately was like a little nervous.
Because the whole movie, they're playing this little baby device. There's a little baby device that makes baby noises. And, you know, I love the scene early in the movie. They don't kill this guy, but there's a guy who comes over and he describes his exercise routine as prescribed by his doctor.
Oh, I love that guy.
And he's like on the bed. He's like, you have to act like you have a grapefruit under your chin while you do this. And then one point he's like, hey, turn the baby off. I don't like the baby stuff routine when I'm doing my exercises. And I love the one scene where he's like, get up, get down. He's like, don't tell me what to do. You do not have the responsibility as prescribed by my doctor.
Yeah, for that scene, I would love to just like have been a fly on the wall and be like, what's the direction in this scene? Because I know like the script was mostly just like describing the action. No, it's like kind of just being like, here's what's going to happen in this scene. Go for it.
Yeah.
And like that guy was so, I was like, oh man, we all know that guy.
It's classic Harmony Korine. We have a distinct mix of actors and non-actors.
Now, I just have to jump in here because I want to talk. I'm just curious. My favorite scene in the movie, obviously, is when the gang hires 3 fat prostitutes.
Oh yeah,
that comes out of nowhere because like they're just like drumming on their asses, and you know, I just don't know. I don't know what that scene, if it's supposed to represent anything, but I love how you go from like the debauchery of having these prostitutes. They're even at one point, they're like, you still hard after I sucked your dick? And to like lead up to that scene of like the guy humming, like they're all sitting around that guy while he hums Silent Night. And I don't know, no real analysis of that scene. I was just like, oh, okay, shit.
All I noticed was Harmony Korine was getting his fucking dick rubbed by one of them. I was like, that's crazy. I was like, does this constitute pornography?
Well, hey, I'll know it when I see it, but I do wonder too, were those just actresses or did they actually hire prostitutes for that scene? Who knows?
Oh, I would think those are actually sex workers.
Oh, forgive me.
He hired a OnlyFans ASMR like person for baby invasion.
Tight. That's tight.
Let's get back to the baby. The baby. Basically, the movie is just creepy singing and stuff, and them out with the baby. They walk it outside at night. The film ends with Mama singing a lullaby to the baby in the street. We never find out what happens to the baby. I have a thought though about it. Did you get a vibe? It's not overt, It's not overt, and I'm honestly really curious what you have to say about it. Do you think they were killing and eating dogs throughout this movie?
Jesus Christ. I hadn't even thought about that. I mean, I know there's a scene with the one dog, and again, that's that I get.
There's multiple dogs. Every time there's a dog with them, it's a different dog.
I don't know. What did you think? Did you think that was, did you pick up on something?
I think it's implied that they are killing, I think it's like Gummo. It's implied that they're kidnapping dogs and eating them. Or maybe just killing them. And I think maybe that plays into the end where, I don't know, maybe they killed and ate the baby. This is just conjecture, folks. Maybe not. Maybe they lived happily ever after with the baby. Maybe they got a new member of the Trash Humper gang.
Well, it's setting up for Trash Humpers too. So
there actually was a Trash Humpers too.
I think I remember seeing that. Yeah, was it also Harmony Korine or?
No, it was an unauthorized sequel that someone made, and on the cover of it, it says it's a quote from Harmony Korine where he says, "It sucks." That's Trash Humpers, folks. For Korine, Trash Humpers is an elaborate portrait of the American landscape, a series of park garages, back alleyways, and beautiful lampposts that light up the gutter. Korine has repeatedly emphasized the use of street lamps and how they are deeply representative of America.
And so I got a little something here I read. It was like does the Trash Humpers forget to engage the audience? And we kind of talked about this before, so I just want to read this verbatim.
I don't think it's concerned. Yeah. Go ahead.
Says that's the key issue. Some experimental films, like Eraserhead, for instance, challenges form but still captivate through striking imagery, themes, or sheer intensity. Trash Humpers, by contrast, seems to take pleasure in pushing the audience away. If the goal was to create a found object, a tape that feels like it was made by these deranged characters, then Harmony succeeds. And yeah, I mean, I think that's kind of what we've said here, was that it does feel like something you found up inside a Jonas brother. And I don't know, I guess that's it's like up to the audience, up to the viewer of like, oh, do I think this was worth it or not? And it definitely, it says a lot about you. It says a lot about me. It says a lot about anybody who, your reaction to it, I think we kind of forget why people make art. It's not always to make something pretty. Sometimes you make something intentionally ugly to strike at the audience.
I think there's some interesting stuff under the reception area here. It holds a 60% approval rating based on 40 reviews, average of 5.5 out of 10. Consensus reads, "It's oddly affecting in a deeply discomforting way, but Trash Humpers pales in comparison with Harmony Korine's earlier, truly transgressive work." I have a bone to pick with that. I think this is transgressive. Who are you to say something is truly transgressive?
Who indeed? I don't have too much to say on that. I got lost thinking about it.
Rob Nelson of Variety remarked that the film is highly unlikely to gratify all audiences, obviously, and questioned what its notability would have been without the director's hipster celebrity. However, intrigued by the film, he commented the cinematography as having no small share of perverse beauty, particularly for those who miss the charming imperfections of videocassettes in the squeaky clean digital era. So I guess I can mention this. Why he had had this idea in his mind was he had gotten, I guess, a tape from somebody who was like, "Hey, you got to watch this." And he put it on for his wife as a joke, Rachel Korine, at one point. And I guess he had another friend over too, and they were both like, "Hey, turn this off," because the tape was just like two teenagers like hanging out, doing whatever, no rhyme or reason, just cutting to whatever, them hanging out doing stuff, because they were like, someone's gonna die. So that's the idea, and I really like how Harmony Korine thinks. I don't know if you got to watch one of the things I posted where he did like this DNA drawing on a chalkboard or a whiteboard. He's just a really interesting cat, the way he comes up with ideas and the way he explains. Like, that's a really good explanation of like how you develop the idea for the film. Okay, it came from that small element, and then you had all these other elements that came together. Like, that's how creativity works. Is it's not just one creative thing that's there. You're pulling from all kinds of things in your brain all at once. And that's just one part of it. Okay, well, if you're asking me about the found footage aspect of the movie, that's why. It's because I had this thought about, if I got this tape and people started dying in it. All right. Only other thing I really want to cover here is some Letterboxd reviews. So here's some popular reviews. First one. White people don't have culture. Explain this then. That was posted by... Jesus. They don't have a name. It's just an emoji. To be honest, you could rate this movie 1 star and tell me it's the worst, and I'd be like, that's fair. But you could also say it's an amazing 5-star masterpiece, and I'd be like, that makes sense. That was posted by Amaya. And third one, a serious contender for the most aptly named motion picture. And that was posted by Josh Lewis. Last one, Eli Hayes. You should low-key rewatch this with the volume muted and 10 Tricks Point Never's album R+7 blasting in the background as the soundscape. Thank me later. Just kidding, you'll probably still hate it. I'm unbalanced, and the act of listening to my advice should be avoided at all costs. Adam, would you recommend Trash Humpers?
I think it's one of those films you have to give a preamble to where you're like, look, I'm going to recommend it, but I'm recommending it because I think people need to be, if you got the time, put something on to be challenged. If you're painting, put it on. If you're, I don't know, what are other things people do? If you're doing one of those other things, yeah, I think I'd recommend it. If you are, just gonna, I don't know, like if you're totally obsessed with plot-driven movies and you need that, then I would say probably stay away. You're gonna get mad at it, and not even for any worthwhile reason. You're just gonna be like, "Oh, why would anyone make this movie?" But yeah, for all my fellow pretentious art lovers, I'd say it's an hour. It's not too long. Throw it on. Give it a watch. If you're watching other Harmony movies, it's important, I think, to kind of, like you pointed out, to understand his mindset, his grind set. Be interesting to watch this and then watch Baby Invasion right after. And then, yeah. So, yeah, I would give it a tentative thumbs up to go watch it.
Hey there, it's me, Dan. I'm here at the Dan and Adam Are Afraid podcast. I'm going to go ahead and give this a 100% recommend. But to who? Who am I recommending this to? I'm recommending this to adventurous cinema goers, adventurous film lovers. I'm not recommending this to your average American. Now, if you're an average American, you're probably not listening to this podcast. So if you're listening to this podcast, if you made it this far, you've probably seen the movie. Hopefully. If not, hopefully we've convinced you to at least give it a shot. It is not for the simple-minded. Check it out.
Or I kill myself, and I swear to God, I'll do it.
Hey, bud, did you pick a movie for next week?
I think you're going to have to beat it out of me. But the question is, are you going to hit me with your left hand? You're going to hit me with your right hand.
I'm going to hit you with my best shot.
Nah.
Let's go with the right this time.
All right. Well, hey, we're going to make a friend of mine from work very happy. He's requested this movie. He's been bugging me about watching it, and I'm like, okay, fine, I'm going to watch it. This is 2014's Predestination, starring our boy Ethan Hawke. And This is the guy who also directed Daybreakers with Ethan Hawke, so I'm excited to see it. It's like a sci-fi thriller, so let's get into it.
Oh God, Book 2, starring George Burns.
Let's get into it indeed. It's an Australian movie. I want to point out, folks, not a big fan of Australian movies, so tune in next week to hear me be racist.
Good day, everybody.
And also like to say, I'm proud of myself. I got 2 episodes up this week. I know by the time you hear this, hopefully by the time you hear this, it will be pretty soon. I got Being John Malkovich up, and I got Southland Tales up within 2 days of each other. I am going to get these up on time. We're going to be current very soon. I'm not playing video games anymore. Fuck video games. I don't give a shit about video games. You know what I care about? Making movies and making sure this podcast gets up consistently every week.
Oh yeah.
Starting to just be at my desk more often. I've thought about that one tweet I shared with you from Rory where he was like, if it's not, I don't know what it was. It was like, if it's not paying the bills or whatever, if it's not a 9 to 5, it's a 24/7, something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Like you gotta,
not just this podcast, but creative in general. Like we talk about time all the time. Like I don't have time for this. I don't have time. We have plenty of time. How do you utilize your time? Up till now, I haven't been utilizing it well. I've been doing a lot of farting around, my man.
Yeah.
You could say I've been doing 31 years of farting around.
Yeah, I think that's one of the central things to absurdism is that, there's an inherent struggle against the meaningless of life, and one of the ways you can struggle against it is art. You already gotta survive. That's just something you have to do already. So you might as well give yourself a reason to survive, whether it's creating or imbibing.
Join us next week, folks, as we watch the Spierig Brothers 2014 movie based on a book by Robert Heinlein.
Yeah, I just saw that. Sorry, one of my favorite authors.
Some Heinlein. Yeah. Join us. We will maybe we'll have a guest. Sounds like we might have a guest. So get excited, everybody. And we will catch you on the flip side.
Oh God, I still watch over people. You definitely.
I love the scare the hell out of people.